Thank you everybody for being here. It's not too good for me to follow Brian. Great speech there we had. All right, failure to train is train to fail. This is a quote that I heard a long time ago, and I really enjoy it, and I try to live my day-to-day operations by it. All right. All right, so there's no secret. There's no secret to that our job is dangerous, and there's no secret to being good at it. All right, so recipe is very simple. There's two ingredients. We have training and we have sweat. All right. Our shareholders, they've piled on what they expect from us. Okay, so we go to motor vehicle accidents when somebody's trapped, chemical spills, when grandma falls, airplane crashes for some of us at the airport. And the list goes on and on and on, but they still expect us to be expertise at our job. So I ask, isn't it fair for us to expect each other to be experts at our job? At least strive for expertise. Okay, this here is Vince Lombardi. He coached the Green Bay Packers starting in 1959. One of the greatest coaches of all times. Green Bay Packers weren't very much prior to him taking them over. All right, he came in 2 years later. They won the Super Bowl and won several Super Bowls thereafter. He has this quote: "Perfection is not attainable, but if we chase perfection, we can catch excellence." All right, that's another quote that I find to be extremely factual for us. We may not be able to perfect every single thing that's thrown at us. We're throwing things 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. We're dispatched out for one thing and we arrive to something else. All right, so we may not be able to perfect everything, but if we strive for perfection, we could reach excellence. All right, every morning that we pull into the parking lot at work, we should assume that we have training. Okay, I understand we have a lot on our plates, but I feel training is kind of like dessert. We all have room for it, okay? Some people have more room than others, and that's okay. If you don't believe me that we should be out training every single day, take your crew out next time that you're on shift and have them do one-man ladder throws. I'm not talking about one-man ladder throws at the drill tower, no obstacles, flat terrain. Take them out where we have a slope terrain, where we have overhead obstructions, where we have soffits that are coming out, and have them throw that one-man ladder throw. And let's just see how perfect it is. I hope it is, but I'm willing to bet for far too many of us that there's going to be room for improvement. We owe it to our members, and we owe it to their families to ensure that we're going out and we're training every single day. All right? Drilling must also be for a reason. We don't go out to drill for punitive actions. All right, that's a place for us to go out, make mistakes, correct mistakes, sweat, drill, and most importantly, get repetitions. There's no substitute for repetitions. So here we have the NIOSH 5. As you can see, the failure to train is not anywhere in the NIOSH 5. But if we read in between each and single one of these, we see that training permeates each and every single one.
À défaut d'avoir suffisamment de munitions, les militaires maliens ont de l'imagination.
It's the military training in Mali. Mali Army, I believe it is. They have guns. They're out there. They're firing away at the enemies, but everything's done by mouth. There's no bullets. There's no blanks. Everything's done by mouth. So we watch it. It's a good laugh. Everybody laughs at it, and it's good humor for us. But when I actually watch the video, I realize that's something that we do every single day, and we don't realize it. And that's the problem, is that we're not realizing when we're actually doing false training. And when we start doing false training, we're going to start to give the other members false confidence. Right? When we get out on the drill ground, they're going to, or on the fire ground, we're going to see poor performance, lack of situational awareness out there as well. All right. So these guys, they're taught the Whys in the what so much, right? But not the when, where, and hows. So I ask anybody, when you went through the basic academy, or even now as you're drilling with your crews, are we focusing on ventilation, for example? Are we actually teaching everybody the what and the hows? Or are we actually teaching the whens, wheres, whys of ventilation? And that's the problem that we're having. 1403 burns, a great example of training to fail. All right, here this puts in a self-confidence. They're fuel-limited fires. I understand that we have to do them, and it's what we have right now. But many of these are because of us. We have well-documented proof that we've caused these 1403 burns now, to where we're not as able to burn down as much as what we used to, because we've injured and even killed brothers and sisters in the fire service. All right, Tom Brennan, a little knowledge in wrong hands is a dangerous thing. All right, that holds very true, especially when we go back to the 1403 burns. And we're talking about establishing it where we get new recruits, new firefighters that are going in, and they think that that's the way that a fire is going to react when they go into this fire. Okay, we go in, Aaron Field sums it up really well. I'll try to paraphrase him the way he says it, that we go into training fires to put the fire out, but on the fire ground, we go in for the people, all right? And I think that's what 1403 kind of fails at us with. So Tom Brennan here, little knowledge in the wrong hands is a dangerous thing. And that goes back to the 1403 burns and what Aaron Fields has to say. All right, so here's a little bit of, I call them Greg notes rather than Cliff notes. Why we habitually train to check boxes. Time constraints and mismanagement. Okay, we're too busy nowadays focusing on OSHA videos or what HR's flavor of the day is. We're mismanaging our time for the day, or we're put under certain constraints where we don't have that time dedicated to training every single day. Perceived safety. Safety has been a big thing coming out lately in the fire service. It's too dangerous to do this, too dangerous to do that. All right, so that holds us back from some of our training. If it's raining out, if it's windy out, snow on the ground, these are times that we're actually going to operate as well in real life conditions. So we need to get out there and start practicing them a little bit more as well. Poor instructors. Too often times we get poor instructors that don't know quite what they're talking about or not qualified to teach what they're speaking about. Money's always going to be an issue, and it has been lately for everybody. So if we're not able to go to training elsewhere, and if you don't want to put out the money yourself, that's fine. We have plenty of training opportunities within the department that don't cost us any money or very little money at all. Logistical concerns. Companies going out of service to be able to go train. You can't go out of your district to go train. These could be some problems, or trying to get other multi-companies in to do multi-company drills. Sometimes they've got to go through logistics and some other routes. May not be that easy. Take some time to coordinate. Okay, some of these logistical concerns still aren't a reason why we shouldn't be taking our own crews out and training with our own crews for the time being. Flat out laziness. All too often we start seeing where crews are coming in and they don't want to train. You mention training to them and you get the, I don't want to do that. And that's a problem. Okay, we need to get to a point where crews, they're expecting to train, and it's going to be kind of like going to the gym. Okay, you take some time off from the gym, and it's hard to get back into it. Same with school. You take a whole summer off from school, you're sleeping in every morning, you got to go back to school. I got to go back to school. Okay, after a couple weeks, they're not going to know the difference. They're going to come into work, they're going to understand they've got to train, and they're just going to go about the training. There'll be some growing pains, no doubt, but after a couple weeks, they'll be able to get the gist of it. Okay. As instructors, we need to make sure that we're teaching the other people the right information. So that's educating yourself, whether it's higher learning or going to classes yourself to be able to teach certain topics and subjects. All right, so how then can we best prepare our members to excel? Okay, it starts with company officers, the training divisions as well, and the instructors. Oftentimes, the instructors are going to be the training divisions and or officers. Sometimes they're not, and if they're not, rely on your people. If you're a company officer or in the training division, you're assigning somebody a class, rely on them. What are their strengths? Okay, do a needs analysis or needs assessment on what does the department need, what does my crew need, okay, to guide you down the right path. Get input from the other members. Let them have input. Once they have input, they have buy-in. The goals of our training, we need you to have knowledge, skills, and abilities. That's going to be our focus as we are planning for classes. Okay, our goals with the crews, they need to be able to see, they need to be able to think, and they need to be able to operate as one on the fire ground and at all emergency scenes. Okay, so we need to expect training every single day. Oftentimes, maybe members don't know where to go, or it got brought up in a speech earlier about false information. There's a lot of stuff out there on the internet, some good, some very bad. Okay, so give them some ideas, some references. Hey, this is where you should look. These guys, they put out great information. So then your whole crew, they start thinking as one because they're reading the same stuff. They're operating the same. So aggressivefirefighter.com, all right, that's Michael's deal. That's great information there. Brothers in Battle, another local one. Great information there, as well as the hands-on training that they provide. All right, First Whip Fools, another local one. fdtraining.com, Fire Department Training Network out of Indianapolis, Indiana. If you haven't been there for a hands-on, highly recommend it. Great training. They put out a lot of really good information, a lot of really good instructors as well from all over the country. nozzleforward.com, Aaron Fields with Nozzle 4, Seattle Fire, great information as well. Traditionstraining.com, these are a bunch of guys from the Northeast that provide another great information. Brotherhood instructors, Northeast as well. Fire Engineering Magazine, Urban Firefighter Magazine. And these are just to name a few that are very easy for you to be able to give them reference to and allow them to go out and start digging through some of that information. Facebook pages, again, great and bad. All of them up here all have Facebook pages as well. Surf their Facebook pages. A lot of times they'll start to update the Facebook pages before their actual blogs or their websites. At that time, or the information will, crisscross with each other. So if you start providing your employees or your members, your firefighters, other companies, a lot of this information, and they can start to build drills off of information that they've gathered from some of these instructors that are teaching all over the country to be able to get on the same page and going down the same path. WNYF magazine as well. That's another one that comes out of New York. That one's only quarterly, so a little bit harder, and you have to pay for that one too. All right, so that's my presentation for today. Thank you very much for your time, and be safe out there.